Catch me, I'll be on my mission. Catch me, candid for these lenses. Catch me, one day whipping in these Benzes. Catch me, catch me, catch me. Catch me, like we playing on. Roll one, and you gon' sing along. Hey, sip some, and you gon' get your dance on. Catch me, catch me, catch me, yeah. Drowning in ambition now. Turning all these tables.
Welcome people, beautiful people of Cape Town. Hope you're having a good day today. It's your boy Caleb Jesse Hendricks coming back to another episode of Couch Creatives. I'm not alone on the couch. I have the beautiful Lwandile Zulu on the couch. Super excited. Girl, thank you so much for coming on the show. Be feeling so excited that I am to have you on the couch hosting you for the first time.
I'm so excited. I'm really so excited to have a conversation with you. More importantly, to be on the other side. Like,
wow, you know, having a TV presenter out here, it's like quite weird to be on the other side.
I'm hosting her. I want to ask you some questions and I'm like, this is not about
I feel like you can take over for a sec there because I'm the newbie out here, but you know what, welcome.
You.
It's been a long time, guys, since we last saw each other, so I'm super excited to have this conversation and just basically catch up with Lwandile. Beautiful, you know, TV presenter, Cape Town TV.
Period.
Oh, I don't know, so many things. I can just go on and on and on, you know. But welcome. It's like where to begin? Like, you know, last time I checked that you hosting Cape Town TV, a TV show. Tell us more about that. Like, how do you feel? Like,
yes, I'm a TV presenter on a Cape Town TV show titled like Say, and I'm about to be a new TV presenter for Hype It Up. It feels so good, and it's actually crazy because I never really, my first thing was not TV presenting. I knew I was supposed to be in the media space, be it acting, I don't know, I just knew that I was supposed to be in the media space, and also, you know, a girl got vocals.
So a singer as well.
I thought I could have been Beyonce, you know.
Can you dance as well? Can you dance? Can you show some?
I'm a triple threat. No, I'm not gonna dance right now.
Saving it for later, you know, after the show.
A lady of many talents.
Okay.
For real, but like the fact that I'm in TV presenting is really exciting. I really love TV presenting. I think it's the best career and it's the funnest career because I don't know, but in TV presenting, you don't have to prepare. Well, you have to prepare a script. There's so much work that goes into it, but it's mostly just about being yourself. It's all about your personality.
Yeah.
So if your personality is interesting enough, like people will like you, and that's what I like.
Okay.
Being
but
real.
you are live as a TV presenter.
Yes.
So it's quite different to be to the normal ones where you can still edit and still change little things where it's not like appropriate for the viewers.
Yeah.
How does that feel? Like you say you're being yourself.
Yeah.
Now this say you want to be yourself, but in terms of being yourself, you can also say certain things that can be offensive, you know, but it's who you are. You can say it's, and how do you challenge that part of yourself?
I think there it goes back to what my lecturer in the third year, shout out to Lenita, she was my TV presenting lecturer. She says, Lwa, you have to be yourself, but you have to be yourself that's interesting and yourself that's accommodating the show. So no matter how great you are as a person, if you are yourself, but that show does not require Lwa that's a hip hop Lwa, but requires Lwa that's into the talk. So you have to channel what the show needs. So you have to channel the Lwa that the show needs. So if the show needs me to, you know, be a little up, talk about music and everything like that, then it requires a more fun me.
So you need to be adaptable to the current environment. So is that really being yourself now because you have to adapt now to accommodate other people?
It's not even adapting to accommodate other people. It's just giving the show what it needs. Like sometimes my lecturer was telling this one student, like, you're being yourself, but yourself is boring. So I need you to give me a little something exciting. And it sounded mean, but she was right. Like sometimes you're yourself, it's like, well, girl, I don't want to know that. Like you have to channel yourself that's going to be interesting and appeasing to the certain people that are watching the show. Yeah, and it's all about the viewer actually.
Okay, you mentioned there like you studying presenting. That's kind of unique, eh? I didn't know you studied to become a presenter.
I actually, well, it was a course in a second year. Like I studied to be an actress, so I am a theater actress and TV presenter. I mean, TV acting actress by profession. But in the second year, we did a course where we had to do like TV presenting for 6 months. And in that course, that's where I learned. Well, actually, I didn't even.
So wait.
I'm gonna give my teacher credit. I learned some things, but I learned to learn things when I actually started doing it.
You actually started to do it. So basically, you didn't like actually let's say, gain the course of presenting, but more of acting. So you learn how to become a presenter by experience.
Yes. So like my lecturers like showed me what you needed, etc. And at the time, I think when they were giving me all these tools, I'm like, okay, this makes sense, but it makes more sense when you're actually in the shoes and you actually have to TV present.
So what are you graduated as then?
I graduated into I was said TV presenting.
So it's like, what did you
I graduated
graduate as a TV presenter?
and acting for camera. My degree is acting for camera.
Oh, okay. So how come you're not doing acting then? What's happening? What's stopping you from going to Dingo and Generations?
I love TV presenting more. I'm not gonna lie. Acting is really good. Acting takes way too much work. Like, oh my God. It's the work that I feel like I want to channel into TV presenting. Like that's the work that I do when I'm like studying a person who I'm going to be interviewing, or I'm learning my script, etc. I enjoy doing that. With acting, I think also what hindered me from pursuing acting fully is not just the amount of work it took, but when you are doing acting, it doesn't have the same, it doesn't give the same, it doesn't give back to you like I wanted it to give back to me. So it didn't love me the same. Acting didn't love me the same, and TV presenting came with me with open arms.
This is a quick question. Do you think that like you're acting when you're presenting as well? Because you have to show this persona, like you have to be this certain way for the audience.
To some degree.
You know, so you have to be like, hey, if you need to have some excitement, you be like, hey, I'm excited today. Even though you can be the most moody person of the day, but you have to have that energy for the camera so that viewers can be engaged. You know? So isn't that a little bit of acting as well?
Absolutely,
and I think your degree prepared you for that role.
Absolutely, my degree definitely prepared me in so many different ways, especially when it comes to being comfortable in front of the camera, being comfortable, like just being. I think that took some acting. That took for me to play different characters to say, actually, I'm going to be acting this time, so this is not me. But in that moment, I was getting comfortable with being myself. I was getting comfortable with speaking to different people. I was getting comfortable speaking to the camera, although most of the time I was in a different character, but the camera started to become my friend. So therefore, when it came to TV presenting, I was not like, oh my God, this is camera thing in my face.
You weren't like overwhelmed. You were just you and normal. It's like natural for you.
Yeah, it was very like natural. It was like TV presenting and studying acting really just propelled me to be. And also, it's not to say that I'm never going to be an actor again. Like if I get another opportunity to do acting, auditions, etc., I do that. Yeah. But like my first baby right now, my first love has to be TV presenting.
TV presenting. Speaking of TV presenting, there could be someone out there that's watching you right now. A young adult, young female, young Loki, Lowandile, Zulu that's watching you and wants to get like tips and like, you know, what are the steps to become, you know, at your level? Like what advice would you give to those individuals?
Man, I feel like I wish there was like one specific blueprint that said like do this, do that, and then you're gonna get it. But as we know in the media industry, there's so many things that go on. I think the first place to start, especially for people right now in this industry, is if no one is giving you an opportunity. For example, maybe there's no Cape Town TV around you, or there's no Soweto TV, or even if they were, they're not really accepting you because you don't have experience, etc. Start YouTube. Like YouTube is a way in which like so many different influencers and so many different people are having a voice. They're learning how to be, like how to relate to people on camera. Like there's so many things you can, I feel like YouTube is really building like such amazing media personalities because people are so comfortable. And what's comfortable about YouTube is like, there's not a lot of this, there's no lights, there's everything. There's lights for you. You can put lights in your own room. So you're in your own space and you're already very comfortable. So once you get comfortable with the camera and YouTube, then you can start approaching different things. I think also just understanding that having a show reel is really important. So studying about TV presenting, I know people think TV presenting is easy. Oh my love, I have something to tell you. It's very, very difficult. There's so many, so much preparation.
Do you think it would be best for them to study, go for it, or just self-taught and just watch a whole lot of YouTube videos? And
self-taught, I don't believe in self-taught. I really think people should study for the careers that they want, but obviously we live in South Africa and some people might say our industry is very unstable. So if your parents are not allowing you to study it, or maybe you have financial problems, etc., there's so many different problems that arise in South Africa. Just start on YouTube, go out on YouTube, go out on different platforms to find out, ask me questions, ask TV presenters questions. I mean, there's so many great TV presenters in South Africa that are open to having a conversation and really just open to telling you like, okay, maybe you send me a clip and then I critique you, okay, maybe you're speaking a little too fast, slow down there, I wasn't really entertained, you're not giving me a personality that I like, do this, do that. Like ask questions. I think that's also important, but most importantly I think you can learn by just doing.
From experience, you know, you learn from your mistakes as well, so you can just, YouTube also gives you that opportunity to just like play around with it and see how you want to present yourself without the pressure of going live stream? Because there's so much pressure because you have to follow certain rules and regulations that you abide
and
to.
there's so much pressure, and also as a stream presenter, you need to understand most of the time you have an earpiece, and there's so much going on, and the director is saying things to you, like it becomes very messy very quickly, and you need to be professional enough. Once you get into that space where you're not just doing it for yourself, but now you're getting paid to do it, like there's so many people talking to you, and you need to be able to keep that focus while someone is telling me to go in an ad break, or my mic maybe is off, and then I need to stop speaking and tell someone else to speak. Like there's so much that goes on. So before you can handle the pressure of being on set, try to handle the pressure being at home by yourself.
You hear that?
Exactly.
Some advice from the words of wisdom.
Sounds like wisdom.
For sure. But tell me, Lwandile, also, when it comes to live streaming now, like if you make a mistake now, how do you like overcome that and not make yourself embarrassing in front of the camera now? Because people are watching you. So how do you
come back home?
Yeah, like
you know, you don't have a comeback. I'm joking. You always have a comeback.
You messed up. That's
you
done. Your career's over.
You're horrible.
Get out of here.
Leave the set immediately. I think what's important is to acknowledge what has happened. So let's say maybe you drop something, or you say the wrong word, or you mispronounce someone's name. Go back and like talk about it. To be like, not talk about it and like, yo guys, I'm so sorry. But to be like, hey guys, you know, hosting a live show, that's actually what happens. Sometimes you get people's names right, sometimes you don't, but you're always learning. Now moving on to the next thing, literally just like that. Like you have to acknowledge what happens. So most people think, oh, I just have to cover up. No, you don't have to cover up. Your audience saw that you messed up, or someone corrected you, or something fell. It's okay. Like humans make mistakes all the time. And I think it shows the viewer as well that you are human and you can recover from it. Like it's all literally just about, for me, acknowledging and then moving
recovering,
on. Yeah.
You know, just pretend like it's like you're just cool about it. It's like it's part of the plan, you know.
You know, I dropped, I fell on the floor, but
like,
who cares?
I hope you love it for the entertainment, guys. Peace.
Exactly.
All right, Lwandile. Also, let's talk about the two shows that you involved with.
Yes.
You know, tell the audience about give us a little bit, you know, context about the shows.
So on XA Live, that is a youth show.
Okay.
So that's a youth show that airs from Monday to Friday, from 4 to 5 o'clock, and that's all about just educating the youth. I mean, we were talking edutainment. Like Monday is motivational Monday, so that's when we get into the motivational
every day for the
stuff.
whole week.
Yes.
Okay.
We're getting like motivational stuff, like hey guys, you can do this, you can do that if you want to start a business, etc. Tuesday is health and fitness Tuesdays, and I feel like they always put me in on a Tuesday because they low-key want me to work out all the time. So that's when we're doing like gym stuff. We're talking about the human body, anatomy. We're talking about health. We're talking about how can you stay safe and etc. Wednesdays is fashion art Wednesdays, darling. We speak all things fashion, all things art. Sometimes we dabble in a bit of music. Thursday is like the talk show. So we're sitting down, we're having a conversation, and we're usually talking about really important stuff. I mean, gender-based violence, unemployment rate, like things that are really young people, or rather everyone in South Africa is really just like trying to understand and seeing how we can move forward. We usually bring in professionals to say, hey, how can we curb youth unemployment? Where can people find jobs? How can we create jobs for ourselves? And then on Friday, it's a party. You know, kicking on Friday. We're at the club. We're at State Lounge. We're at the club, you know, we're just grooving away. We have artists, we have a DJ.
And live performances.
You know, it's a whole it's a party. Welcome to the party.
Okay.
That's a Friday. And then Hype It Up, that's a music show.
The new show?
Yes, that's a music show. And that's all about just like interviewing artists and getting in a lowdown of all your favorite people, like why they create the music that they create, everything that's coming out that's new. Basically everything that has to do with music. Music videos, artists, interviews, performances. Literally, when I think of like something that's mad hype, I'm thinking of Hype It Up.
Oh, so does it cater for just like Cape Townian artists?
Not necessarily. Like if an artist is in town and we send them a link brief, we're like, hey, pull up. They pull up. It could be literally any artist from South Africa if they're in town, if they're doing an event.
You call them and say, hey, you want to come over to the show, or do they have to promotion?
No. Sometimes they come to us to be like, hey, I'm promoting a new song. Please can I have an interview? Sometimes also it's not like they're promoting anything. Yeah.
Oh, okay. You know, sometimes people
they'll be like, I'm coming here. I'm doing an interview with my 10 million.
Yeah, you know, people want nothing for free these days. But it's good. Now you know for free. Hype It Up. Check it out.
Check it out for real. Like,
okay, so when does it air? When does the first episode air for this new Hype It Up?
On the 18th of October.
Okay, that's around the corner.
On Cape Town TV, channel 260, literally right around the corner from 5:30 to 6:30.
And your favorite host of it?
You know, one of the hostess with the most, better known as the Princess of Presenting. And I'll be doing my thing. Like, I'll be doing my thing. I'm really so excited. I think it's going to be a really fruitful show, especially now that, you know, end of season is coming. So summer's coming. So a lot of performances. We go to events as well. So that's really cool.
Oh, so the show is not going to be based in just one studio?
Well, we have one specific studio, but every time we need to like hit an event or something cool is happening, we definitely are going to be outside.
So you're going to be interviewing the locals out there. What do you think of the artists that's presenting or like talking or singing or performing, you know?
Yes.
Hype It Up, does it just focus on music or can like creators come there as well, like dancers or...
We actually, that's such a great question.
Or there's a different show for that?
So one thing, I'm glad you asked that question because I have to mention it. It's not just a music show. Well, it is mostly about music, but we're going to have a certain day of the week still to be decided. That's just for like dance battles. So you know, Sabu Chiga Machiga back in the day. We're bringing it back, Jamali. We're bringing it back. We're back, coming bigger and better. And I feel like there's so many dancers out there and there's not a lot of platforms for dancers. Oh honey, I have a surprise for you. So we're gonna have like really cool content that's not just the music, but like focusing on the creatives as a whole. So anything that has to do with creative music, dance. I don't even know what other genres are there.
It's like music, but makeup as well. Maybe do makeup tutorials.
Maybe not makeup. I don't know. See, I don't want to say too much now. My producer's calling me saying, you said.
Yeah, you give me all the information. Give me all the information.
I'm gonna keep it cool.
Keep it like in a low key so you can hype it up because it's called hype it up. You have to hype the people up.
Exactly.
You don't give them too much. Keep the mystery.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Okay, Lwandile. So, all right. Tell me this. Let's say, okay, you were TV presenter now. You also did acting as well.
Yes.
But are you a businesswoman?
Yes.
Are you young? Could you see yourself as a young entrepreneur?
I could see myself as a young entrepreneur, but right now I think the thing that has been holding me back is one, excuses.
Too much.
Procrastination. And last but definitely not least, I think I am really just trying to build my brand. So I'm still focusing on that, and I haven't had the chance or the time rather to dabble in different other things. But I definitely know that I want to be in like clothing, like I want to do a clothing line. Sometimes I think I'm fashionable. So I wanna dabble in that. I think mostly I'm a humanitarian. I'm a humanitarian, so a humanitarian.
Humanitarian.
I'm a humanitarian.
She's a humanitarian.
I'm a humanitarian.
You see, that's the mistake, so you can like laugh about it, especially on live. But don't worry, we got you. We can cut that out. You know, we got you. This is a lie.
Just for vibes. I'm joking. But I'm a humanitarian.
Okay.
And I really believe in helping people.
I'm sure the people are like, Andre, what's a humanitarian?
What's a humanitarian? I really believe in helping people, and I really believe that I was brought into the world by God to make a difference in the world. And I really just don't think my life is about me. I'm so passionate mostly about young kids, and I really want to make a change in young kids, like young, beautiful Black South Africans' lives. Like my dream at the end of the day is to have a school, and I want to have a school because I want there to be
Oprah Winfrey.
Exactly. Like I want to have a school because I want there to be a place for kids, especially living in disadvantaged communities, where it's like you're not surrounded by your problems in that time. Like you know you're gonna have breakfast, you know you're gonna have lunch, you know you're gonna be provided books for. It's one of those schools where I want to fund purely everything, and I really believe that I was brought, and that's really like my mission in life, just to change the lives of South Africans and people, regular people around
Beautiful,
me.
Man. Come on.
I don't believe that like my skills are for me.
Come on.
I need money.
Let's do this. You know, let's build the spirit of Ubuntu out here. You know, bringing all the creative minds together to uplift the community that we live, uplift society, and build. One question I want to like to know is that you MC at St. Light.
Yeah.
Tell us more about it. How did that journey came about?
First of all, I think when people...
Are you allowed to say that, eh?
Yeah.
Hey, Christian girl out here.
I'm a child of the Lord.
Out here clubbing.
I'm working at the club.
You know, bringing the Holy Spirit to the side, blessing the individual.
I bring the Spirit of the Lord.
Out there, you know what I'm saying? You're removing the normal water with holy water without them making noise. Shama.
I really be praying for people in the club.
You know,
But yes, I am a Christian. I'm a child of the Lord.
Yeah.
But I also work at the club. I think it came out. The whole opportunity came out for me. There's obviously like they'll DM you to be like, hey, like if you have like a certain amount of followers on Instagram and they feel like you have an influence or you have a network to reach a certain type of people, they'll be like, hey, do you want to come work at the club? Like, do you want to host? And I think I took it because one, it's a really easy way to make money. Let's talk about that. And secondly, like I really enjoy being out, like and just like, you know, partying with people and having fun with my friends. So then I was like, oh man, why not?
Do you also take an opportunity working in a club to network with people there that comes in, like the artists and influencers and all those creators, you know?
Absolutely. And I think it's a great place to network because people are a lot more friendly. I'm not going to tell you why.
You know?
They have something else in their system that makes them a little nicer.
You know?
That makes them more prone to give you answers that they wouldn't give you on a normal day.
Free drinks.
So, yeah, I think it's a really great place to just get to know people. And also, especially when you're working with a brand like Saints, I think they're already so known as well. It's like when you're working there, some people might not know you, but because you're on their posters or you're hosting quite a lot, you'll get to be connected to different people, and they're like, actually, like I know you're a TV presenter, like come work on the red carpet on this, or I know I'm hosting a party like this, or and I need someone who's gonna be TV presenting or asking my guests some questions. Like it's really nice that I'm not just, it's not just like, oh, I'm working at the club, but I can also put in my TV presenting and put in my MC work.
Use all that skills and experience to put it in the club and okay, and events as well, not only clubs but events. How do you feel? Does the COVID impacted your career so far in terms of events?
Impacted everyone's career.
Not yours.
No,
you Gucci.
I mean, good is pushing it there.
Okay.
But I think it just touched everyone's life, especially because like we used to hosting at MCs as a TV presenter is really like where your money is at. Like especially when it comes to TV presenting, especially as an MC, like although you have a regular 9-to-5 job, but most of the time when you're hosting at these events, it's like you can charge them whichever rates and which you'd like, and most of the time you can go bizarre with it, you know. So I definitely think it has affected a lot of creatives' pockets. But I mean, you know, we're coming back, and by the grace of God, we're still here.
Amen.
Really, be future.
You know,
preach now. Like really, by the grace of God, I really think God has been so good to me in that way, and He's always lined up different things for my life, and I really believe that He's placed me here. And you asked me earlier, like, why haven't you moved to Joburg? If God hasn't said I should move yet, so I really believe in that, because I was in Durban for a while, and I really felt like God was like, move to Cape Town. And when I moved to Cape Town, He made a way every single step. Like every time when something ends, God makes another way, and that's how I can believe. So when He says, girl, move to Joburg, like I'll be ready.
Then you'll be ready.
Yeah.
The Lord is speaking to you.
Like I so wish to get a job in Joburg though. Does anyone want to hire me? Come on, MTV,
live it up there. Get that Josie, you know, get
BET,
that MTV,
like,
Mzansi Magic. You know,
I want
Cola, the number will be down there, provided like you have permission.
Email me rather. Email.
All right, Lwandile, thank you so much, you know, sharing us your energy, sharing us your insightful information, how to become a presenter, a successful one, and just being, the grace of God is just speaking to you right now.
Thank
and
you
I feel
so
just blessed to have you on the show. So thank you for taking the time. But I'm not going to let you go just yet. We're going to be playing a game called Truth or Drink. And I'm super excited to get to know you even more further with the set of questions that's going to be asked today. So are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
All right, guys, Truth or Drink.
Go.
And we back.
Yeah.
Are you guys, are you ready for this?
I am. I'm a little...
You ready for
I'm
this?
a little scared.
Guys, don't be scared.
I'm a little scared.
Don't be scared. Guys, we're going to get to know Lwandile now in a deeper scale now.
Not a deeper scale.
Because we're going to be asking edgy questions here that I haven't even seen myself, but it's going to get quite interesting. Are you ready for this?
I am ready.
All right, let the games begin.
Okay.
Oh, wait, you have to choose. You have to choose. All right. Yeah, I don't know what. Okay, first question.
Yes.
Have you ever had a secret relationship?
Define a secret relationship.
You know, when you're with someone and then, okay, not Okay, secret relationship, but like you're with someone, but you don't want anyone to know. Like you either embarrassed of this guy, or
Okay,
you're seeing someone, but you don't want the other person to know.
Okay, can I explain myself?
Sure.
I think I have, but it didn't start out as secrets. So it's one of those things where you're like dating someone openly, and then something really crazy happens, and then you're like, I'm done forever. And then you're not really done forever, but then you're like, oh, I'm gonna see you on the low, because this is really embarrassing. I should not be seeing you because you did me dirty.
But you couldn't help yourself, but let me just...
But I'm gonna see you for my own amusement, but I eventually broke it off. But it didn't start out as a secret. It was a normal relationship, and I told my friends, like, I'm done, guys.
But your friends didn't know you were secretly...
Well, it wasn't really a secret, because they would know, like, I'll be like, I'm out at lunch. They're like, with who? And they're like, girl. So it wasn't really a secret, but I definitely wouldn't be out being like, hey, by the way, this is the person I'm seeing. Like, it wasn't like, I'm proud to see you right now. It's like, this is a low moment of mine.
What did that guy do to you? What did he do to you? That's the question.
Oh, child, that's the real question.
What did he do to you? Okay, poor guy. Eh? Hey,
In a secret relationship.
Oh shit, okay. Are you ready for this? I'm gonna use the way Buzz used to do back in the day. What's the best?
Big leg.
I can't believe you even understood.
Sorry.
I can be anything.
Please don't drink it too much, man. Just
Okay, yeah, no, I'm drinking just sips.
yeah.
Just remember, this is vinegar that you drink it, and you drink it like a champ. So, are you sure? Okay, you know what?
I was like, I'm a drink for that.
Okay, someone doesn't want to share a secret, so it's understandable. I can't believe you what.
I was like, oh Lord.
What's the dirtiest text you ever received?
Dirtiest text. I mean, I receive unsolicited dick pics on social media all the time. On Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook. Men need to do better. Please stop. Like, it's not cute. Like, I didn't ask to see your area. Like, please, my brother, if I wanted to, I would have asked. Please, my brother. Please,
You know, I have DMs like,
also, like, people like write the craziest things like, oh, please, can you check this out? And it's like, you're asking me to check out artwork, and then, surprise! Like, please. I don't like that. And also, I don't think people are scared of me. They don't send me like dirty texts or risky texts. But like, people on social media, oh, they're not scared. They'll send.
sometimes this guy is just trying to get your attention.
Blocker Instagram, blocker Twitter, blocker. Try me.
So what would be the steps for you to, like, for a guy now to sign your DMs and get your attention in a decent way, especially if this guy likes you?
Yeah, also, guys, I think the key thing for me that I've realized when it comes to a relationship is it's really about how you slide. It's just how I feel about you.
Oh.
Like, for example, like if my crush were to put in love emojis, I might even start a conversation. If another person that I don't care for puts in love emojis, I might just start to no.
Oh.
So it's really about how you slide and realize that with women, it's really just about how I feel about you. If I find you attractive, you might say the most mundane things. I'll be like, oh yes, by the way, lunch tomorrow. Let's go. Like, let's keep pushing.
Okay, so it's not about
It's not